What if I move more over here? Hi, Jake. That looks awkward. What am I doing? The first wedding video has come. It's a super cloudy day today. I want you to see how dark it gets when I turn off the light. Hi. Doesn't this seem like a horror movie? I mean, does it seem like a... Did that seem like a horror scene? So there's so much stuff to talk about, so I'm gonna try my best. Step 1, you got engaged, you're excited, and now you have to plan a wedding. The first thing that I would recommend doing is creating your vision. For every girl, there is something that they envision for their wedding day, whether it's the flowers they're gonna use, the colors, or the dress. For me, I knew I wanted it to feel magical, but I also knew that I was on a budget, so this was kind of troublesome. Take the time to just pin things and all that, pull out inspiration. It's a fun time. Let it be lighthearted and all that. And then you have to sit back and be realistic and see, okay, now how can I make this come to life with the money that I have? And that's what we're gonna talk about right now. As you can see, there's a lot. This is not even this is document 1 of 2. So this video is all based off a blog post that I wrote because I wanted to write everything down. So I'm gonna try to hit all the blog post points, but if you want the in-depth stuff, then go read it ahead. All the extra resources and the documents that I talk about in this video will be there, so just keep that in mind. It's in the description. Advice number 1. Have a priority list for your wedding. And I'm talking about 3 things or less. Everybody has something that they want in their wedding, whether it's a nice DJ or a nice cake, whatever it might be. For me, it was, the most important thing was actually a wedding photographer. Now this is besides the person I'm marrying, obviously. And the second thing was having a decent wedding dress budget, just because I wanted to feel like a princess, and that completes the princess, you know, stuff. I also asked John, don't worry, but he left it all in my hands and there was no, priority except getting married. So make sure you include your fiance. The second step, now you're gonna start researching vendors to fit your priorities. I said having a good photographer was important to me. So this is when I started looking at different photographers in my area, in the city, and finding what fits my style, what isn't extremely expensive, and from there I emailed so many different people. And that also happened with my dresses. I looked at different boutiques, places I could get the dresses, also looking at designs and inspiration on Pinterest, and just went from there. So after you figure out that and you figure out what type of price range your priorities are, you can start figuring out how much everything else is gonna cost. Because you don't want something to be your priority and you don't have it, right? So start with your priority and from there you go move forward. The research stage is the most exhausting stage ever. I remember wanting to give up so many times because it is tiring emailing people, figuring out that a lot of things cost a lot of money. But don't lose hope. Just keep going, you guys. Keep going. You'll find that. You'll find it. Okay. The third advice is also very important. It's the budget sheet. I use this religiously. What the budget sheet is, on my blog post, it's an Excel spreadsheet where it has a column for each thing, like your wedding jewelry, your bridesmaid gift, your bachelorette party, your cake, your dining ware, linens, all that stuff. What you're gonna do is you're gonna fill in each column about how much it costs. And you need to go online and research how much those things cost. You're not just gonna come up with it on top of your head, because you guys, you need to get a good estimate about how much things cost so you can be realistic about wedding budget, all right? Fourth advice, the money. You want to know where your money's coming from. Everyone's situation and circumstances are different. So just figure out what works for you. I knew we had to figure out how much we could have saved up by the end of April since we're getting married in May. From there, that's how we decided what our wedding budget would be and what our honeymoon budget would be. Just figure out how much money you can have saved up. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is managing your money. You don't want your money to disappear and it's like, where did it go? That's why you need to fill out that budget sheet. But how I manage my money is just not how everyone will probably manage their money. But what I did is I already had a savings account for my wedding, so all my wedding fund was in my savings account. They have a limit on how much money you're able to take out from your savings account. I could take it out 3 times every quarter, so I would list out all the expenses per quarter and how much money I would take out per quarter, if that makes sense. And that's how I kept track of all the money that I was spending for a wedding. Because if I put all my wedding in my checking account, you guys, I would go to Walmart, buy snacks, and next thing you know, I'm like, okay, where did $400 go? So that's the really condensed version. I hope this was somewhat helpful. If not, then I'm so sorry. Check out the blog post and see if I will be forgiven, you know, because I really tried my best to put more information on there. That's the financial portion for all the decorating, DIY, and all that fun stuff that will come in the future. I'll see you guys. Bye!
Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I'm having a hard time filming this.
What? Why can't I speak when I make videos? It's so sad. I don't know. And for me, I had a really high standard when I... Am I crazy?
Howdy, folks.
The third advice. I have so many baby hairs right here. It's crazy. It just does this. It just does this. Now, before we head into the budgeting portion, I just want to hit on the kind of things.